Larry Fink wants to raise the retirement age. What could possibly go wrong with that? Here's old Larry Fink. He says 65 is way too low. All right. Larry Fink, he's 71 now, and I'm sure he really, really concerns about you, what happens to you. In fact, if we look over at BlackRock, how did this company become so big? It started in 1988 that BlackRock did, according to Wikipedia. BlackRock was founded in 1988. Now it's the largest investment manager in the world. How? Come on, man. Apparently, Larry Fink, I did not know this, but he was chief at First Boston. I guess he lost a lot of money at First Boston. And I remember First Boston. I guess he said he lost $90 million as head of First Boston. Hey, it's called the Peter Principle. You're promoted to your highest level of incompetence. Anyway, no one should have to work longer than they want to, he said. But I do think it's a bit crazy that our anchor idea for Social Security for the retirement age, 65, originates from the time of the Ottoman Empire. Wonder what else originates from the time of the Ottoman Empire. A president of the United States, be 35 years old. That was completely arbitrary. It didn't originate in the time of the Ottoman Empire, but in terms of your ability to get a beer. You can go fight in Vietnam, no problem. Fight in Afghanistan, Iraq, no problem. You just can't come back and buy an alcohol drink until you're 21. So you have the ability to shoot people, but you don't have the ability to buy a pint of Guinness. That makes sense. The voting age, 18 years old. But why not make it 35? I would make it 35. Why not? Why not? Crazy. It's just because it's been around since the Ottoman Empire, Larry Fink, doesn't mean it's bad. And Republicans have touted raising the retirement age, 100%. And because the Republican Party is literally not a legitimate counterparty. They're just not. They're paid for hook, line, and sinker by the globalists to be the losers that they are. Because in an election year, they're going to give the talking point that says Republicans want to raise the retirement age right here. And they have a budget proposal stating that. And then it's even worse, though. They don't say how much or when. They just say, yeah, we're interested in that. Idiotic, man. In the 1950s, and here's why Social Security is doomed. In the 1950s, many people who worked and paid into Social Security never lived long enough to start receiving benefits, says Fink. It's just it's just not right. It's just wrong, Larry Fink. That's simply not true. Unless you say many is like, 10 people? All right, then it's true there. In the 1950s, many people who paid into Social Security did not live long enough to receive the benefit. It's simply not correct. Oh my goodness. Today, the chances are higher that certain retirees over 65 may still be collecting Social Security checks until age 90. Well, yeah, but guess what the taxes that they put in, Larry? What is the tax rate for people at 50 years old? 1% on each side? What's the tax rate for 1950s? What's the tax rate now? 6.2% on each side? Meanwhile, the number of baby boomers who reach 65 is surging to historic levels. Okay. There'll be 11,200 expected to turn 65 every day. All right. Well, guess what? And that's more than 4 million per year from now through 2027. Guess what, too? That means when those baby boomers are already on Social Security, some of them be dying off. In my generation, there isn't many of us. So it's going to be this huge, because we're the baby bust generation. So you're funding the baby boomers, and my generation comes up, and there's not going to be nearly as problematic, because there's just not many of my generation. I'm not sure what generation I am. Generation X or something like that? Oh, boy. Age 65 is the anchor that's cultural age we've hung our retirement hat onto for decades, says this guy, Jason Fichtner. Bipartisan Policy Center. Horrible, horrible think tank. Don't trust it. It's all, how can we make DC bigger and more involved in your life? The age of 65 is no longer, I think, relevant. Of course you don't, because you're sitting around your freaking air-conditioned office. Look at Larry Fink. Has he ever dug a ditch in his life? Has he ever peed in the woods? No. He's always had people do that for him. Let's see. Let's keep going. There's Ronald Reagan with Tip O'Neill. And there's Bob Dole. I'm not sure. Who's that? What's that guy from? I don't know who that guy is. I'm not sure. That's Vice President Bush. Patrick Moynihan. Don't know him. Is that the guy from Tennessee? Who the hell is that guy right there? Anyway, so there's Tip O'Neill. And I'm assuming that's, is that Baker? Howard Baker? I'm not sure. I don't know who. Look at all these white guys. How dare they? All white guys. How dare you? Anyway, Tip O'Neill was the Speaker of the House, a Democrat from Boston. Just FYI. So here's Reagan, signed the bill to raise taxes. Tip O'Neill was a Democrat. Just FYI. Let's see. For many years, Social Security's full retirement is 65. Social Security. Okay, we saw that. Fewer than 10% of claimants wait until the age of 70 to file, says Teresa Jill. We all know about her. She works at the new school, and she's telling you that you can't retire. She says it's impossible to retire because you don't have pensions. All right, let's see what else. Raising the retirement age, which is often presented as another option, is really a benefit cut, says Alicia Monell. 100%. It is. It's literally a benefit cut. Congress may eventually raise the retirement age to 69, says Andrew Biggs, even though Democrats have promised not to make that change. But Andrew Biggs, who I know, I'm going to interview him again here pretty soon. When you look at countries around the world that have underfunded pension systems, they raise the retirement age. Unfortunately, he says that wouldn't be much of a fix to it. I think he says it's going to be like, if they were to raise the retirement age, it'd only fix it by 15%. Yeah, right here, 20%. Pushing the age to 69 would repair less than 1/5 of Social Security shortfall. So other reforms would be necessary. Yep. Fishner, the guy from Bipartisan Policy Center, supports raising the retirement age, and he would say we'd be paired with a higher minimum benefit so as not to punish workers who cannot work longer. Okay, but if you're going to raise the full retirement age, aren't you? I don't get it. I guess he's saying you can still retire at 62, but you wouldn't be, you wouldn't have such a steep reduction in your benefits. All right. He also wants to change the CPI, how we measure inflation for retirees as well. Andrew Biggs advocates moving to a one flat benefit for all retirees, similar to what Australia provides. If that change were put in place, raising the retirement age would be unnecessary. Monell argues the most effective benefit cut would be reduce the replacement rates for higher income workers. Basically lower their bend point for the top, because there's 3 bend points, 15, 32, and 15. I mean, 90, 32, and 15. So she said, I guess, lower that last bend point to 7%, 7 as opposed to 15%. I don't know. Anyway, so here's Blanchette. Ultimately, workers want to retire on their own terms and at the age they want with enough money to live comfortably. To make that possible, employers need to engage older workers so they feel comfortable staying in the workforce. Okay. Why? That doesn't make any sense to me. All right. I guess he's saying people are retiring too early. And so if employers got involved and they said, hey, Josh, you should really stay in the workforce. Here's my new DEI HR rep. And they are going to tell you, how dare you call me she? They are going to tell you what you need to do to stay fully engaged. The whole thing's stupid. It's stupid. And the Republicans gave the Democrats just a slow pitch right down the center, just because they're so stupid. That's all there is to it. Be it as it may, we'll see what happens. But what they're going to raise the retirement? I'm 53. They're going to say, anyone who's under 55, you got to work until you're 70. Or what they'll do is say, depends on your line of work. If you're in a laborious job, working outside, you can retire at 60. But if you're in a comfortable job like me, you can retire at 70. Okay, well, what if I was in a laborious job for the first 30 years of my career and now I'm in a comfortable job working aside? How's that determined? Or we could just simply say, let's just keep the benefits the way they are. Shocking. All right. Love your thoughts. God bless. We'll see you. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe down below. See you.